So another angle that's obviously going to be good is a side angle, because from the side you're going to get more definition of the bump. Now, one thing to keep in mind is whatever's closest to the camera is going to appear the biggest. Of course, I have to go to the washroom. Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. So this video is going to be a DIY maternity pics video. Now, I was actually going to do this video with my backdrop paper and stand and like my little bit of lighting, and my stuff is not like super expensive or high quality or whatever. I just got it on Amazon. But then I thought, it's DIY, like to make it even more simple is probably more effective and useful for people out there, because I imagine most of you don't have a backdrop around the house or lighting, because not everybody's doing YouTube. So I just wanted to give you a quick example of how you could do your own little like maternity shoot at home without it being super complicated. Chose an outfit that I wanted to feature or to remember. Pick something that you feel good in that's going to show the bump well, because obviously you know, with a bump, unless you're like 9 months, it kind of depends on the angle that you're at. Like, I'm a person that if you look at me dead on in pictures, sometimes you don't even notice the bump depending on what I'm wearing. But then when I turn to the side, it's like, whoa, where did that come from? It really does show the bump because it's so lightweight and slinky. So to me, the dress has a little bit of a goddess vibe. So I'm going to take out these earrings. I'm going to take out Jenny from the block. Put those down. I am using natural lighting, so I am by a big window, but it's not the best day. But I'm just doing this video kind of just to give you guys some inspiration. So hopefully this still works out half decent. But of course, it is best to do it when it is a nice bright day, so that you do get the best lighting. But don't worry, I'm sure we'll do some editing a little bit, so I should be able to make it work. So I am just using this little headpiece, and as you can see, it kind of plays up with the gold leaves and the dress. The dress is from shein.com. You'll notice when you take your own photos, when you go back and look, sometimes you might want to tweak some of the styling because you might not be crazy about it. So just have fun with it. If you don't like something, you can change it, take some more shots. That's one good thing when you're doing your own photos. You're not so worried about the timing because you're not paying anyone. You don't have to worry about hurting anyone's feelings because you styled yourself. So there's definitely some perks, and if it doesn't go well, you don't like the pictures, no love lost, right? You could just try again. Okay, so I'm just doing it right here, not doing any kind of crazy background, but as you can see, the colors in my background really play off with the dress, so I thought this would work well. I'm gonna kind of position these so that it looks nice in the picture. I'm just gonna have those two pillows at my back, and then I'll have, you know, like the gray pillow kind of beside me, and I'll put my body in here, and I think that will work pretty well. And I'll do like a mid body shot. I'm going to move the angle of my camera to more of lengthwise so that more of my body fits in the frame. And so then what I'm going to do from there is I have like the flip viewfinder up so I can see myself, and I have a little remote for a self timer. Now I know everybody doesn't have that. Don't be worried, because I am a person that I've taken many photos of myself for like art projects back in school, fashion projects, self-portraits, where I couldn't see myself either. But as long as you have, and I didn't have a remote, but as long as you have a self timer and a little bit of patience, you can just make it work. Most cell phones now, there's apps to do self timers as well. So that's an option for you if you don't have a camera. So the good thing is you won't really need to do like full standing shot. You don't really have to do that. The main thing is once the bump is in the shot, you're pretty much good to go. So I'm just gonna play around and I'll show you what I come up with, and then I'll show you how I edit. I got my pillows here, so I'll just prop them up in a way that they're going to look nice in the photo, but be also kind of subtle. You don't need to do too much because remember, you're pretty much the focus of the photo. Okay. So I'm gonna kind of just tuck it in so I can see the bump. So tuck, and that's tucked in. Okay, I think we're kind of good here. See a little bit of the pillow. And now zoom in a little bit, or zoom out actually. And we'll try some shots here, and then I'll show you what they look like. Now, one thing to keep in mind is whatever's closest to the camera is going to appear the biggest. I'm going to move my body back a little bit. Ooh. So you want the tummy to obviously be the focus. And this is obviously probably going to be more flattering. Okay, so we'll try this instead. One thing to keep in mind when you're taking your photos is you want to give variations of your pose, but you don't want it to be like a huge difference, because sometimes it can be just like the slightest thing that's off, but everything else was perfect. So especially when you're going through to edit your own photos, like your eyes might be closed, but everything else was lovely and you wish you took more of that. So just to give you an example without the camera actually going, like without actually taking the photos, I'll just signal of like when the shot would be taken and like what I would do to get the different shots. So shot number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6. Fake laughing is great. Number 7, 8. So as you can see, they're very slight changes. So you don't have to go crazy with it and just be like, oh. Just very subtle. Also, fake laughing looks fantastic in photos. So you may feel silly, but honestly, they look really great. So do a little like, ha 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 ha. That's what I do in a lot of my style shots, and it looks silly. You feel silly, but honestly, it looks great because you're more relaxed when you're laughing and smiling. So I'll show you guys some examples of that as well. Also, hands on the bump area. You might feel silly, but they often look nice in photos for maternity shots. So yeah, it's a little awkward, but it also like breaks up your lines in your body to make it obvious that you are pregnant if you're not super huge. So another angle that's obviously going to be good is a side angle, because from the side you're going to get more definition up the bump. So yeah, any kind of side profile shot is going to be very flattering for your pregnant body. So what I like to do, here's a little tip, because I noticed that the bigger your tummy gets, the flatter you can kind of look back here, because in comparison, unless you have like a shelf booty, the back is going to kind of look wah. So if you're self-conscious about that, or you want to hide that so it's not like super obvious, you can just put your arm sort of like here, so the focus is more on the tummy and not the lack of derriere in comparison to the tummy. Another little tip, if you want to do like the looking down shot from the side, don't actually look at the belly unless you want a super side profile, but it is nicer to have like a little bit more of your face. So just kind of look front angle. In the shot, it's going to look like you're looking at your belly, but you're not really, and then you get more of your face in the shot as well. If you are using a remote, you're probably wondering like, how do I get the remote out of the shot in time to take the photo? Many times you just gotta be really quick with it and kind of just hide it. So it's like, click, hide. click, hide, click, throw it, hide. That's what a lot of people do. Hide it under your hand, hide. Okay, so I took a fair bit of shots just now, so I'm gonna go through my pictures, see what I like, and then I will edit some up for you to see, and I will just kind of talk about how I did the editing, how I chose what I chose, and I'll be right back. So after taking a bunch of shots, these 4 were my favorite, and the photo on the left is obviously the raw image, and then on the right is after I did some simple editing. Now, if it's just images for social media, I mainly use the Instagram app to edit, and I will first brighten the photo, play with the contrast, warm it up a little bit, play with the saturation, give myself a little glow sometimes, and then I finish off by sharpening the image. I then take a screenshot and then open that image in the Facetune app. Now, I like Facetune because it's pretty easy. The image on the left is before I use the actual app on it. So on the right, you'll see my skin looks a bit smoother. There's a little blemish in between my eyes that has looks a little bit less obvious now. My neck has less creases under my eyes. And then I use the detail tool to make my accessories pop, the colors in my dress pop. Now, they have a whiten tool that is typically for your eyes or your teeth, but I also like to use it for anything that is white, but it comes off cream in the picture after I've warmed up the picture. So I'll go over it with the whiten tool, and that way it will look a little bit more truer to color. And then, of course, defocus. Sometimes I'll use that if I want to blur the background slightly. So I hope you guys found this helpful. I was inspired to do this because I actually filmed my gender reveal video on a tripod, the same kind of way, using self-timer and a little imagination and some tweaking and some editing. So I just wanted you guys to know that you don't have to hire professional help. Sometimes you can just do things by yourself. I do think I'll eventually get actual maternity shots done. I do have an idea in mind that is a little bit more, I want it to be more professional, have my husband in it as well. But I think it's fun to kind of style your own shots at home and document the process, and you can do this for anything. This doesn't have to be just for maternity pics, of course. So I hope you learned from these tips. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and let me know. If you do use any of these tips, definitely reach out to me on social media and tag me so I can see them, because I know you're going to do an amazing job. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye, guys.